this is a bit technical, but I tried my best to bring like planets into this. So to talk about light, I didn't want to bring like just like an artificial light. I was trying to imagine how we can use the sun as the source of light. So I was, like when we look at the moon, I think this is the best thing we have to understand how light works, because the moon, like for 28 days, the moon, we see how depending on the angle of the light to the moon, which is our object, how this affects our perception of the moon. So we are on the Earth, and in this image here of the moon, the first circle image, we can see that the moon is actually always, like half of the moon is always receiving light of the sun. But because of the rotation of the moon and because of the rotation of the Earth, we perceive it differently. So during the new moon, actually, the other half of the moon is receiving the light. And this is why we cannot see the light. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but like that little, how do you call this? The little lights we see is actually the sun on the opposite side of the moon. And when the moon is, on its waxing quarter, we see half of the moon, because this is how we are seeing. This is how we are perceiving. And then when we are seeing the full moon, of course we have eclipses, but if everything is not aligned, the sun, the Earth and the moon, we are actually seeing the half of the moon that is receiving the light, and so on. So I think this is the best way of thinking about the light, because this is something that it's in everyone's mind, and we can understand how it works. So whenever you are kind of like in doubt of how it works, you can actually look at the moon, or even search on YouTube a video of like all the phases of the moon. So in this example, you are the moon, right? So now we are moving, like now you are the moon, and our point of view here on Earth is the camera, right? And the light is the sun. It's, even for me, sometimes I'm kind of like, I am the moon. So sometimes it's a bit tricky, but keep in mind that you are the moon. The sun is the light. The sun is the light is the most easy. Okay, you are the moon. And the camera will be the thing. So I have more images here. Okay, here. Here is the light, right? Here is the camera. This is the point of view. And here is the moon. That's you. So when you are receiving, let me see if I can do this. When you are receiving the light like this, everything, you can see everything. When we start to move, there is light coming from all sources here, but you would see only half of my face. Even if I move here, you can only see half of my face, right? Or if I move here. And if you notice this, this is affecting how the shadow works too. So whenever we are working with light, we are working with shadow. The full moon is, you know why everyone likes to do videos with that ring light? Because when you bring light here, you don't have shadow. So you don't have shadow marking these lines here. And everyone feels they are, more beautiful. And the new moon would be this here. Or we can think about, and I love thinking about this example, when you are seeing the sunset and the sunset is so beautiful and you're like, oh, I need a photo with the sunset. But you can't have a photo of the sunset, because if you bring enough bright to your face so you can see your face, you don't have the sunset anymore. And if you have the sunset, this is you, right? So here is that example, that first example.